Tom Hess, we've got about a minute left to practice here. Stepladder finals for the PBA50 Waxahachie Southwest RPI Qualifier about to start. I am Jason Thomas, PBA Hall of Famer Tom Hess. You just watched a little bit of practice. We've got Chris Barnes and John Burkett in the opening match. The winner will face Chris Warren, and the winner of that will face Mike Bailey, the defending champion. What are your predictions going into the Stepladder finals here this afternoon?
Well, they both kind of got me confused, JT. They both started with reactive, and I thought they both looked pretty good. They were throwing quite a few strikes throwing the reactive balls, and now as practice ends, they're both in urethane.
Wow, okay. Well.
So I am confused. I don't know what the plans are going to be. They both struck with a little bit of both. Just from a pedigree standpoint, got to take Barnes over Burkett.
Okay. All right. Well, let's head out to the lanes. Stepladder finals ready to go. And it should be a good one.
All right, we're ready to get our first match underway. The number 3 and 4 seeds, Chris Barnes, number 3. John Burkett, the number 4 seed. As the higher seed, Chris has elected to let John start the match on the left lane. Bowlers, your arrows are up. The lanes are yours. Good luck and high scoring.
As you could hear, Tournament Director Tony Lanning say that Chris, being the higher seed, has elected to have John start the match on the left lane.
As soon as those balls come back, they'll start the match. Been an interesting day for Barnes. He was dominant yesterday, and I think we all assumed he was going to coast to the number 1 seed, but he's really had a rough day today, and did make the Stepladder finals pretty easily with 1 to go. But the question I think for him is, what's going to be the plan here, and can it hold up for 3 games?
Yeah, and I don't know if Chris has made a decision on what he's going to do yet. So John is underway. John went with urethane.
And it was a good one.
Great opening shot.
That's all we have.
Yeah, Chris came into today, our tournament leader, at 260 over. He is now third at 311 over, so only 51 over for Chris. And all of that actually came in that 4 games because he was actually under in our 6-game advancers round this morning. Chris is going with urethane. Gets the light swisher.
Yeah. Yeah, he showed us a lot of tricks yesterday with this urethane ball. He obviously we're on a fresh bat pattern, but he was able to kind of pipe it up the outside part of the lane early, and then he got in and showed us a little bit of loft, a little bit of around the side of it, a little bit of pulling the holes out of the ball, and it looks like he's kind of going in between right now.
Yeah, this is going to be yet another variation to the challenges these guys have faced this weekend, as this is a fresh pattern, but it was oiled before the last round of 4 games was bowled, so it's a fresh pattern that's been sitting for just a little bit longer.
I wish we had a mic down in that area, because these guys, they're so funny going back and forth with one another. They bowled a bunch of matches in John's personal bowling alley.
Oh, yeah.
And they're fun to listen to. Good shot there for Burkett.
Oh.
Get the 10-pin to go with the messenger. We've seen him miss a couple of these this weekend, so something to watch for. He also did smash his finger a couple rounds ago, but it looks like he's been able to work his way through that.
I just need to take his time here, Tate. Maybe and extra breath. These are going to be important.
Perfect, no problem there.
Hit that one right in the middle.
Early lead for Barnes. But both players look like they've got control of the pocket. Because Chris Warren has been, going with the reactive and hooking it a little bit, with both these guys throwing urethane, what do you think about how this plays for Chris in the next match?
Let's see how these guys end up playing here in frames 7, 8, 9. But where they're playing them right now, and I don't think they're going to move a whole lot with the urethane. But as I've been saying all weekend, when the guys stay a little bit further to the right, stay a little bit straighter with the urethane, that actually creates hold. It's when guys want to really throw it left to right when they're throwing it that it creates hang. And I think this could be to Chris's advantage.
Barnes strips the 4. And opening 3-bagger for him. That puts him ahead by 20.
If Chris coming up in the next match, if he's able to move a little bit further left and do what he likes to do, what he did this morning for those 6 games when a few more guys were throwing urethane, and get comfortable and be able to have, hook right and hold left, boy, that's a bowler's dream right there.
Barnes going with the loft and the extra fingers, and great start for him, front 4. He's carried 2 light mixers, a trip 4, and a flush strike there in the 4th.
I got to be honest, for those that have been watching all day, I'm really surprised. We saw Chris have a great look with this ball yesterday morning, and he didn't throw it at all. He started pretty much with reactive. He did throw this a little bit the first game, but he didn't stay in it very long.
Burkett, good shot there, trying to keep pace. Only missed so far that 10-pin in the second frame for Burkett.
John trailing by 20 through 4 frames.
John's had some big games here this weekend. In fact, he's got the high game of the tournament, shot 290 yesterday. Had a couple of big games today as well. So if this is a pair that he likes, he could be tough to beat.
That looks pretty good.
Good shot. Slaps
Gets
the
it
10 out. See if Barnes can stay perfect. Trip to 4 on this lane the last time up.
That's right over 10.
Great shot.
Couldn't quite see how far right it got, but from the trajectory, I'm going to say about 5. Chris was in the way. Ran him over. Chris perfect through 5 frames.
Well, you give Chris Barnes enough chances at it, he's going to figure it out. This is kind of the 3rd time he's had a chance at the fresh today.
He likes that one as well.
Another good shot.
Pretty good shot there from Chris. And the big thing for Chris is kind of in control of Chris again a little bit. It doesn't look to me like he's trying to manufacture any kind of ball motion. He's liking what he's seeing. It's making it easier for him to get up there and just repeat shots.
All right, let's see if Burkett can keep pace here. Only one miss so far between both players. It looks in a little bit, and it holds, goes high flush. So Burkett keeping pace, possible 280.
Yeah, both of those guys throwing urethane might even, I talked about how it might give Chris Warren some hold. It's going to give them some hold as well.
Just one miss here, and Burkett could be in the driver's seat. Barnes obviously perfect through 6 frames, but Burkett keeping pace. Max score 280.
That looks pretty good as well.
And gets the 10 to bounce out. So these guys are whacking them. They're making them look easy. After there's some tough conditions out there. The 2 leaders put up some big scores, but other than those guys, everybody else in the field pretty much struggled today.
Yeah, neither one of these guys really bowled. They didn't bowl bad in the last round, but nobody bowled fantastic. Chris got that one up in the air just a little bit more.
Oh, 7-pin pushes off the deck. And now Chris Barnes with the front 7.
Yeah, Chris bowled 70 over for the last 4 games. And Burkett 60 over. We didn't see either one of these guys have this kind of reaction in the last round.
Burkett's like, just give me a chance. Ring a 10-pin, something. Give me a break. Barnes, that one looked in, and just held all the way.
Yeah, I talked about it. The guy's throwing urethane. It's going to create some hold. Chris has got that look like that was not his best effort.
Yep.
And fortunate to get away with one.
So front 8, Burkett stepping up in the 8th, trying to keep pace. Again, if he can throw a double here, he would force Barnes to get the next 2 to lock up the match. A good looking shot, and oh, he gets the 7 to go, just like Barnes.
Yeah, both guys getting them a little late. It's a fantastic match right here.
Yeah.
I'm impressed by both of these guys. The struggles that we've seen this morning as they've moved from pair to pair across the house.
You know, and also I think something else that's funny about this is when you see something tough all day and all of a sudden then you get a little bit of room to play with, you really take advantage of it, don't you?
Yeah, what they've been bowling on for the 10 games this morning.
It's got to push.
Yeah, that's left.
Oh.
Okay.
Good break there, but that's going to make it tough. Barnes is going to have to open in order for John to have a chance now. 258 his max score.
Chris with the 8-bagger basically is in the 260s if we just go spare. Still got to take your time, though, and make sure you make this. Nothing is over.
Going to hook it at it. And no trouble on the spare. So Barnes now, if he can stay clean these last 2 frames, he will advance. He also has a chance for a 300. Strike here would also lock it up. One more More good shot, and the 10-pin goes late. And that's going to lock up the match for Barnes.
Gets the break.
And chance for a 300 still alive. So going to be a fourth place finish for John Burkett, but he does get one of those automatic spots into the RPI, so we'll see him later on in the year.
Yeah, that event will be out at the National Bowling Stadium in Reno, December 12th through 15th.
Another strike there for Barnes. And he's got the front 10.
Burkett going to go ahead and fast track here.
Going to ball change just to see. Like, how much room do we create for ourselves with this reactive ball?
If I was Chris Warren, I'd be over there taking a look at this one. Got a re-rack there as the lane 13 was missing the 5-pin.
Barnes gonna look at a different ball. Looks like. Gonna go with the urethane one more. Looking for the front 11.
I'm surprised he didn't just go ahead and make the ball change there.
It's got a push. And trips the 4.
Don't use those all up now, Chris. Might need one of those hits coming up here in a little bit.
248 for John Burkett. Great bowling. But 300's hard to beat.
248, solid effort. Jason, if you'd have said, well, these guys going to bowl 248, are they going to win?
I would have said yes.
I would have said yes as well.
All right, so Barnes going to stay with the urethane ball. Going to try to put on a show for the crowd here, shoot 300. Looks pretty
That's
good.
Better.
And, oh, 9-pin goes late. Chris Barnes, perfect game to open our Stepladder finals.
Yeah, bowling perfect games is a lot of fun. Do it in a stepladder.
Chris
Even
Barnes
more.
puts up a relatively solid game to advance to the next match against the number 2 seed.
I didn't hear what Tony said.
Tony said, Chris Barnes with a relatively solid game there in our opening match.
More importantly, this actually qualified the match on the left lane. Gentlemen, your arrows are up. Good luck on scoring.
All right, here we go. I mean, it didn't look like Chris Warren's ball reaction was as good as Chris Barnes' ball reaction the first game. But we'll have to see how that little miscue with Barnes on the practice pair affects him this game.
Well, the other thing that some guys do, JT, and oh, that one goes high. You know, you get 8 shots. You don't go over there and try to strike all 8. You know, you throw a couple, but try to maybe help them get a little bit better for you. You know, I'm not going to lie. Sometimes guys play defense. Sometimes you try to make them a little bit worse for your opponent. It happens. It's a fact of life. But that one, you know, this is a lot of what we've seen from Chris. Lots of strikes, but lots of splits as well from Chris Warren. When his ball doesn't hit the pocket, it's not getting 9 very often.
Yeah. All right, let's see if Barnes is feeling the impact of that little miscue that he had off to the practice pair a little while ago. And also how much Chris Warren's practice is going to affect Chris's ball reaction.
You know, if his knee's not feeling right, it's going to be tough to go in and commit and make a really good shot here. And you could see how he
kind of
he was very gingerly. He was
yeah.
very ginger going to the line and then stepped out of that very quickly. 2, 4, 6, 10. Yeah, Chris is hurt. Unfortunately, this is not good. I hate to see this for anybody, let alone one of my really good friends out here. Chris did something. I don't know whether he's stuck over there or slipped or what, but he's hurt.
Yeah, he definitely doesn't. He can't plant on that slide leg, it looks like.
Yeah, he's. And you can just tell, even by the way he's standing there. I don't know whether he slipped and twisted it, whether he stuck and jammed it, but yeah, something's going on. There he was able to post that one just a little bit better, but still walking very gingerly. He's in pain. I can see it in his face as he walks over here,
Yeah,
right in front of us, squatting
stretch it
down,
out or
trying to
something, yeah.
stretch something out, or. But you could see the look on his face. He was in pain.
Chris Warren. Good shot there in the second, first strike of the match.
Yeah. You know, Chris Warren obviously feels for his friend Chris Barnes, but he can't let up. You know what I mean? He's still got to go bowl, because if Chris wins, Chris is going to move on. But, it's a pretty
Nice
good
shot.
shot there from Chris Warren. We saw a lot of that this morning.
Not sure if he made an adjustment on that lane or just made a better shot, but catches the double.
I think it was a little bit, better shot. He was a little bit more through it. Got that one down the lane. You know, the first shot of the match, you're stepping up. You wanna make that great shot. Sometimes you almost throw it too good, catch it a little bit too much, comes off of it. The end of the pattern. Chris was able to post that one and doesn't get rewarded.
Yeah, but you can tell it wasn't as athletic or aggressive as he was throwing it in that opening match. It was more of a compensatory type shot where I'm going to take it easy on this one. Not going to go after it quite as hard, so I can stick the landing and at least know what direction the ball is going to go.
Yeah, he's standing way more taller than he normally does. You know, I mean, he stands tall, but he's got something going on. You can see him step out of that one rather quickly as well. He's kind of starting to move a little bit better there. It looked like when he was walking back. And that was a better shot right there.
Yeah, good shot. Leaves the flat 10. But, yeah, definitely a shame. You know, with bowled 300, the opening match, had everything going his way. And unfortunately just tweaked something on the practice shot he threw while Chris Warren was getting his practice shots for this match.
Chris makes the 10. Yeah, you can tell he's just not normal.
Chris Warren looking for a turkey, trying to take advantage of the unfortunate injury for Chris Barnes. It's got a hold. Oh, and he leaves a 4-9.
It was one of those I didn't know what you were going to say. Has it got a hook or has it got a hold?
Yeah,
I think he got it right a little quick.
I saw it coming, and
an initial was, I was thinking, oh, it's got a hook, and then it goes high in 4-9s. Chris is standing back there.
Okay?
He said he slipped when he was shooting that spare shot.
Ish. Chris is okay-ish, he said.
Okay-ish.
Yeah.
Oh, what a spare,
Nice spare
from Squeaks.
Great spare. Man, you know, just when you think you might have a little opening, these great players go and do something like that. But Barnes said he slipped and tweaked something, and said he's okay-ish, which I think means he knows when it's going to hurt, and I know how to adjust my game to be able to make a shot that'll give me a chance to strike. I think those first couple of shots, he had no idea what his body was going to do, or how it was going to feel. Good shot there from Chris Warren, bouncing back.
Yeah, Chris is kind of, Chris Warren, that is, looks like he's kind of in a place where his ball's just not going through the pins correctly. We saw earlier Chris throwing a lot of dead high flush shots. That one, he needed a little help to get that 6 out. Barnes still looking for his first strike of the match. That was way better. Just a 10-pin match.
Yeah, Barnes still in this one, and I think to the last point we made, I think he's kind of figured out how to at least make a shot so that he can hit the pocket.
See if Chris can get the double here. That one's right. Is it going to get up and carry? It is, and he's kind of walking that one out a little bit.
Gave it the business.
That's all I got, he just worded to the crowd back here. A couple of guys sitting back here watching.
All right, so we got ourselves a match. Chris Warren left a 4-9 on this lane the last time up.
Chris has moved, yeah, he's moved a little left.
Gonna play a little bit of hold at the.
Yeah, I think that one was good. That one was like 4 left of where his last shot was, and a guy at Chris's caliber doesn't just miss 4 left. He made a move.
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit with those guys throwing urethane from the out. It was going to create a little bit of hold for Chris potentially, and he used the hold on that shot.
One on the right lane was about 12-13. The 2 dark boards right there between second and third arrow. That one just right of it.
Shreds the rack.
Yeah. Barnes throws his chamois at him.
I talked to Chris Warren before the Stepladder finals. It's just about, you know, he's a super senior, so, he's not the youngest guy out here. And I said, what do you do to, kind of stay in shape and stay young? And he said, I do a lot of stretching. Don't really do much high impact kind of stuff anymore, running, things like that. But a lot of stretching to stay loose.
There's another good shot from Chris. Barnes.
Yeah.
Keep saying Chris.
Well, Chris is definitely going to win this match.
I got 100 on Chris. You'll take 100 on Chris too, right?
I will.
Yeah.
Well, Barnes looks like he's figured out what he has to do to make a shot with the little injury that he suffered on the warm-up shots between matches. And he's still got a chance. Just 10 pins down. Can make it an even match with the strike here in the 8th.
That's
Got all of
another
that
good
one.
one.
Nice shot. Got all of it. Half pocket. When you throw urethane and you hit that half pocket hit, you're looking at the 10 pin all the way.
Yeah.
And he snapped it out of there.
Chris looks to me like he's being able to put whatever's going on with his knee out of his mind in his approach, but then you can see him still walking gingerly as he's coming back. But the last 4 shots, he's looked pretty solid on the approach. Chris Warren, get a great look at it right over those 2 dark boards between 2nd and 3rd arrow.
Great shot.
Out to about 8 and 10 back.
Big shot coming up here in the 9th. If Chris Warren can strike here, no matter what Chris Barnes does in the 9th and 10th, Chris will have a chance to win. But if Chris were to happen to miss, Warren that is, Barnes can shut the match out.
Yeah, maxes as we stand right now are 256 for Warren and 246 for Barnes. It's a pretty good shot. Doesn't get the 10 out.
Looked in just a touch to me. And the last 2 shots have been light mixers. That one, the half pocket. And
Yeah.
again, even with reactive, half pocket hits aren't going to carry as high a percentage as those light mixers or flush.
You know, and he kind of fell out of that one. Chris has been posting a lot of shots, and that was a little bit of fall out of it and kind of run it out. You know what I mean? I think it was more fall out of it, and then, hey, we're going to, come on, get there. So Barnes is going to have the opportunity to step up and throw the next 3 strikes in advance.
Good job making the spare there. So Barnes will need the next 3 to lock this one up. Anything less than that, and Chris Warren will have a chance to get up in the 10th and win.
Well, double 9 spare, we have the opportunity for a tie. Let me rephrase, that's double in the 10th was what I meant. Get this one. Oh my.
Good shot, high flush. Leaves the 9 pin though. Barnes.
Still important, he's not done yet.
No, absolutely not. If he makes the spare and goes off the sheet, then Chris Warren's still going to need a double. And we could still have a tie.
Yeah, if Chris strikes out, he's going to make Chris throw the first one to have any chance. Second one will win, and then he'll have to spare.
No trouble on the 9 pin there. So Barnes can take it off the sheet for 225. Strike spare for Warren would give him 225. So count, very important. And I think it's pretty important for Barnes to double here as well. With as good a look as Chris Warren has.
Post that one, get it on the lane. Great shot.
Yeah, Barnes, after that last strike, said that's all I got, but I think he would say the same thing after that one. That was about as good as you can throw it.
Yeah, I think his last 2 on that lane have been better than the one when he said that 2 frames ago.
Yeah.
He got up and just absolutely aced those.
All right, so strike here. put Barnes in the 220s. Chris Warren 225 pace. Again, count is important. If he gets all three, he's going to force Chris Warren to double. And we could still have a tie.
Oh, that was just a touch.
Oh, man. Wow.
I thought just a touch in.
That very easily could have struck.
Yeah.
Something touched the 9-pin going into the pit, but not enough to knock it over. So 215 now will be the max score for Barnes, and Chris Warren just going to need a mark.
Wow, a couple of stubborn 9-pins down the end.
Well, you got to give him a lot of credit for gutting this game out with the injury.
Yeah, watching his first couple of shots and the way he was reacting after that warm-up shot he threw over there, if he'd have told me he was going to bowl 215, I'd have said, no, I don't think so. I don't think he's going to be able to even make that good quality shots.
Good shot there for Chris Warren, and leaves a ring in 10s. Got to make it.
Has to make it.
And if he can do that and get a couple of pins, my guess is he'll throw it right down the middle. He'll be bowling the defending champion, Mike Bailey, for the title. Got to make the 10-pin first, though. No trouble. So Chris Warren, stay behind the foul line, and he will move on to bowl for the title.
Yeah, Chris Barnes knows he's going to get a couple of pins. Chris Warren's going to advance at least one spot further this year than he did last year. Chris, our third-place finisher last year.
Okay, that'll do it. 223 for Chris Warren. He eliminates Chris Barnes.
Yeah, I think the reason Chris didn't throw it straight down the middle there is he wanted the information. He's not going to get any practice.
Right, right. Good point. Good point.
Mike Bailey's going to come in for 10 shots, so Chris wanted to make a little move there and see just what he had.
He might have moved his eyes in a board or two, though, just to make
Well,
sure.
yeah. His move wasn't going to be to throw it further right.
No,
that is for
hey,
sure.
let's see how much room to the right I have. Del Ballard did that once, and it didn't work out very well.
He did?
Well, he didn't have another match to bowl, though, unfortunately. All right, Chris Warren will get us underway here.
Last game he was crossing right at 12-13. See if he makes any kind of move here. No, that's pretty close to where he was doing. The only difference is I believe that was another ball, a different ball.
Yeah, and that's interesting because, again, he didn't get any practice shots, but the good news for him was, his opponent's left-handed, so he's not going to affect the lanes too much. So he got a pretty much a clean move there. All right, so Bailey, let's see how he gets out of the gate here. He was just so solid all day long today, and obviously bowled well yesterday as well. And misses the pocket for his first shot, and we haven't seen him miss the pocket too many times.
Yeah, no, he's very fortunate to get the get the 7 out of that and not be shooting at the 3-7 right now. We were talking about in the last round how Mike hasn't split very much. Mike's been all over the pocket. A lot of his misses have been 9. And there's another one to start the match. I don't think that Mike has lost the lane by anything. I just think that was a little bit of a errant shot to start the match. He looked really good in practice, but you know, now the lights are on and they count, so it's just a little bit different.
Yeah, it seems like, you know, Mike's key all weekend long was make sure you feed it to the left and catch it. Nice bowling, sir.
Great bowling, bud. That's
Better
much,
shot.
yeah.
Better shot there. He got all of that one, and that one splits the 8-9.
I think the biggest difference between those two shots, that one, and I was saying earlier how he's smooth and gets the ball down on the lane there. He went with just a little bit of loft to get that ball to hit and kind of pick up. Almost like he was a little too smooth with the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Chris, right over 12-13.
Oh, trips the 4-9.
Yeah, we saw him leave one on that lane in the first match.
Early lead for Chris Warren. You might need to make a little bit of an adjustment on that lane, though, with the ball change. Looked pretty good on this lane in the first.
Another really good shot.
Oh, slaps the 4-pin across the deck.
We saw Chris do that a lot yesterday and then earlier this morning when he put on a striking display.
Yeah, this morning especially. I mean, he just dominated. You know, Mike Bailey had a nice block just to kind of hang with him. Warren went 243, 269, 249, 217, 279, 215. And that one he got left quick, and it overhooked on him.
Yeah, I think that was the one that he tried to make hook. It's so different, JT, when you're just bowling qualifying. You know what I mean? It's just get up there and make another shot. Just get up there and make another shot. You know, you get in a rhythm and a flow with everybody. And everything is so different when you're in a stepladder match. How quiet is it here? You know what I mean? There's so many things to think about. Every shot becomes more amplified.
And not able to convert. So an open frame for Mike Bailey here in the third. And Chris Warren has jumped out to a big early lead. 32 pins.
Yep. You know, granted, we didn't watch every shot that Mike threw today. I think that's the first time I've seen him split.
Yeah.
He hasn't split very much at all today.
Yeah. Yeah, the shots that he went high earlier were in, and that one was actually out, and it overhooked. And, you know, when you create that extra angle, you tend to split more often when you go high.
Mm-hmm.
And that one, you know, he was really soft on that lane in terms of his speed. And that one just looks like he amped it up a little bit. Didn't get back around the corner.
Well, he also didn't get that one out on the lane like he did last time on this lane.
Yeah.
That one was more rolled into the lane, so it went a little bit longer. When you get it out on the lane, it kind of hits and kind of softs and picks up a little bit. You know, unfortunately for Mike here through 4 frames, he's just not bowling the best game he's bowled today.
Yeah, and his opponent, you know, Chris Warren with that nice little break in the second, trip in the 4-9. He can jump out to a huge lead with a couple of strikes here in the 4th and 5th.
Mike has not bowled a single game under 200 all weekend.
Chris Warren makes the adjustment on that lane. High flush. Front 4 for him. Now a 42-pin lead through 4 frames.
"17 consecutive 200 games or better. His low 201. There's still a lot of time to get that back, but Chris Warren is in control early.
Kind of stuck on that one and yanked it inside a target. Good break, just leaving the 6-9-10.
Yeah, he'll take that. Kind of grabbed that one a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know if it was a footing issue. It didn't look like he slid as smoothly as he normally does.
Hey, he's pointing to the right. Pointing, just saying, just throw it over there.
Oh, chops the 6 off the 10. I think he thought he made it, but now Mike Bailey with some new life here.
Yeah, did you see how quickly he jumped out of that seat?
Yeah.
Mike's got to come up here and make a couple of really good shots.
27-pin lead now for Chris Warren. But Bailey with a couple of strikes can cut it to 17.
That was a really good shot from Mike.
You know, the thing that Mike has been so good at is these little touch moves all weekend. If he just sees the ball pick up a little early or not, he's been so good at dialing down the ball speed or hitting it a little harder or going around it a little bit more. I think that's why he's been able to control the pocket and not shoot a game under 200 all weekend, right?
Yeah, you've talked about it all week. Every time we've talked about Mike is how many times has he not, you know, it hasn't started quite this bad, but he hasn't started a lot of games with 5, 6, 7 baggers to bowl all those good games. He's finished a lot of games with the 5, 6, 7 baggers as he makes his small tweaks to get the pair figured out and then makes a bunch of really good shots, and there's 2 of them.
Well, he looks like he's got it figured out. Now it's just going to be a matter of execution. He cuts the lead to 17 pins, and now he's given Chris Warren something to think about.
Yeah, our max score is 265 for Chris Warren, 248 for Mike Bailey.
Warren tripped the 4, then high flush on this lane the last 2 shots. So does he need to make a little bit of a move?
That was a little bit of a move in my opinion. He had been right over 12, 13, those 2 dark boards between second and third arrow. That looked like it was more 13, 14.
And if you've been with us the whole stepladder, players in the opening match, John Burkett and Chris Barnes threw urethane and created a little bit of hold in that area. See if Chris Warren can make a better shot here in the 7th. High on this lane the last time.
Well, that was right.
Got it to the right, and oh! 10-pin was tipping over, but the messenger came back and said, "You're going down."
Yeah, Chris has got it going on. I think his miss needs to be right. I do think he's got a little hold because of the urethane. But I think it's going to be more advantageous for Chris to miss to the right.
27-pin lead again now for Chris Warren, but Bailey can cut it back down to 17 with a strike here in the 7th.
That was a really good comeback from Chris after the uncharacteristic miss of the 6-9-10.
That one inside a target a little bit, but he's able to get the ball back to hit the pocket and carry the light mixer.
Yeah, and on the flip side, I was just talking about, I think Chris's miss needs to be to the right or to the outside for a right-hander. I think Mike's miss, if he's going to stay firm with it like that, needs to be in as well. If he misses left, especially early, the ball picks up way too much and goes high. That one in. Got down the lane, carried the light swisher. Leaves his max still at 248.
Got that one left, and it made it back. And will the no Messenger will not take out the 7-pin. So pretty good shot, just not able to get all 10, and gonna need to bear down, make this spare. Still far from over.
Yeah, again, that one that he threw really, really good on this lane. He got it in the air. That's a good spare. Mike, an excellent spare shooter.
227 his max score. Chris Warren going on a 225 pace, so still not over yet. But Chris Warren's max score 265. And it looks like he's dialed in on both lanes. Makes a great shot there. And oh, the 10-pin goes forward.
Wow.
Wow, the 6-pin must have got a piece of it going around.
Must have got a piece of it going by. Falls late, falls forward. Big break. That puts Chris into the 230s.
Yeah, so just going to need to stay clean with good count these last 2 frames.
Mike's max 227.
It's got a hook.
Doesn't get there.
No.
2-8-10.
Wow. Wow, he got it right. You've been saying the key is to get it right. He's been saying get it right, but he got that one right, but it was a little fast.
It was that's where I was going, JT. That was the problem. He can throw it right if he throws it the speed that he's been throwing it. Now, big right here, get 2. If he gets 2, he still cannot be shut out. Mike's max 227. Chris gets the 2. Oh, almost got all 3.
Almost made it, but
That's going to take him to his max F230.
okay, so it's very interesting. Mike Bailey going to have a chance here to put some big pressure on Chris Warren to perform in the 10th. Bailey's max score again, 227. Chris Warren can go off the sheet for 230.
Bailey made the choice to let Chris Warren finish on the right lane, and Chris has been perfect on that right lane and 2 opens on the left lane. It's not going to matter too much if Mike doesn't strike here. Got that one out on the lane, up in the air just a little bit. Pretty good shot.
So I'm done with that lane. I mean, he was pretty good on it.
Yeah, he
Those
struck
last
more
3
on that
shots.
lane than he has on this one.
Yeah. So let's see what he does here. Does he get the ball out on the lane a little bit like he did back in the second?
That's the key. He got the one there in the ninth. He got out on the lane. He's got to get it. I'm not talking in the air. He's just got to get it on the lane just a little bit. That looks pretty good.
That was
That's
perfect.
That's his best shot of the match.
Yeah, that's exactly the shot you've kind of been saying you want to see him throw every shot. And when he absolutely had to have it, he did it. So he'll be in the 2 teens. That's going to force Chris Warren to at least get a mark to win. But this one here will force Chris Warren to double. Mike Bailey, the defending champion here, looking to go back-to-back. And this would be his 12th career regional title. Got it back out on the lane again.
That's another really good shot.
And the 7-pin won't go.
Stubborn 7.
Awfully good shot.
The scorer actually gave him a strike. They're going to need to change the score.
.216 with a spare here. That would mean Warren would need a spare and 7 to take home the title. But, you know, to quote Chris Warren from yesterday, he said they're tricky, and spare and 7 is no guarantee on something tricky. But he has been perfect on that lane for this whole game. .216 the final score for Mike Bailey. And now Chris Warren, spare and 7 to take home the title.
Made a little move. That was right over 15. And again, ring 10.
Good shot. You know, Chris Warren's probably about a 99.8% on 10 pins, but when you need one for a title, doesn't it feel like it's an extra 10 feet down the lane?
Yeah.
And just gets over there. So needs 7, but you know, to your point, Tom,
He's got 6 and 5 a couple of times.
Correct. Even this game, he's gotten 7 a couple of times. So, what do you think he does here? Does he just throw it a little harder just to make sure it doesn't go 5 through the nose, or you know, just make your best shot? What do you think?
Boy, I got mixed emotions. They're pretty tricky. I might throw my plastic ball. Chris doesn't use a plastic ball. I think he's just going to try to hit the pocket. Hasn't missed it on this lane all game.
And gets the light mixer to carry. That could have very easily been a 2-4-8-10.
Holy cow.
And Chris Warren is your champion of the PBA50 Waxahachie Southwest RPI Qualifier.
And title number, regional title number 59.
Wow.
47 regulars, and that's his 12th senior regional for Chris Warren.